Okay. Got it set up. Hello. That's weird. I need to change my headphones a bit. Hello, viewers and my battalion. That I should have just gone the other way. I don't know. It's been a bit since we streamed. Hello, God, I suck at pronouncing. But hello. It's been a hot moment, but the plan is to, you know, very obviously, we're going to be starting. We're getting back into the streaming thing. Hello, DMZ. I know it's been very. Hello, Johnny. Gotcha. I want to figure out how to actually pronounce your actual name, though. I will figure that out. But yeah, it's been a moment since we've. It's been a slow, pretty much month. Last month was pretty slow. It's been only a week already, and it's been slow. But I was prepping a little bit for the con I went to two weekends ago. At this point, wow, holy God, that's 2 weekends. Oh yeah, I think I do have a little bit of something. At the beginning of the month, I got a little sick with something, and right after on the Monday after the con, I did get also sick again. So I might still have a little bit of something in my throat and sinuses. Family thinks might be like a sinus infection or dislocated or something about my nose isn't aligned right, where like they're probably being like, oh, get a sleep mask. I don't want a sleep mask. That's a hassle that I know I would screw up because of my body when it sleeps. But yeah, a little behind on stuff. Some changes are probably going to happen from what I originally was thinking of for both this year. For this year and stuff, but I want to get a video out about how the con went. It was like only a day, and no snow this time, unlike last time I went to Fan Expo. But yeah, like I put in the comments, the goal is kind of to see what we can get done. And I'm gonna start with working on what is it again? On True Green 7's like challenge. If you don't know, he put out a new challenge for a new Fakemon thing, like he did near the end of last year, where he asked pretty much the artist to design the Fakemon as some legendaries, as like giving them an alternate form. And we're either going to work on that, or we're going to do the one for Mari's, where they want, I don't remember what their full username is, where they want us to design a human version of a Pokemon. No, we're gonna do, like, it's based off of a design he already set up. I could probably this first one, I might as well put it on here. Like, this is the one I'm thinking I'm going to try first. Like I think this time I want to try both. Maybe if I make it into a video because uh, I do need to get videos done. Yeah. I'm also trying to figure out how I want to do, because I'm also trying to figure out how I want to set this up, because I already have the idea of what I want to do with the design. I'm not entirely sure how. Let's just I'll just start with putting some shapes on here. Oh, that sounds interesting. I'm now just also just trying to think what are indie games that are out. Like I should, it's one of those things where I should know for a multitude of reasons, but just sometimes with the brain and all. Yeah. Oh fuck! I quickly figured out what was gonna happen. I didn't do that very much. Like I assume we were gonna have like probably what is it called, like probably Hollow Knight, because very obvious why you can easily, that's an easy thing you can make to it, and then probably like the other ones. Yep. Good luck with that also. Not exactly how I wanted. Contemplating if this one. Hello, nerd. I'm trying to do like pretty much like, you know how, what is it? What's his, like how my name, it was blanking for a bit, where like Popcross does like, you know, the blocking out the shapes before any of that. Trying that out because I'm working on the Fakemon that is mostly cubes. So trying that but failing. So screw it. I'm gonna go just my normal way at the moment. Dang it. We'll see how this goes. Because the idea I came up with is trying like turning it into like a Hydra. Hello, Easy. Like, also like all of X-Men being replaced by like SpongeBob characters. Like I know there's this ones where they do get to be like the superheroes to help like Mermaid Man. There isn't really a one-to-one for. Well, I guess closest is I guess Quicksilver. But I don't know if Quicksilver's on. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't. I think I keep getting distracted before I can say what I'm trying to do. But I'm gonna do a quick thing so I can technically see. I can technically see it. Also, I can't. Hello, DMZ in the in the voice chat.
Hello. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. I was just setting up to do some drawing myself while you were talking about what you're doing.
No worries. I I'm gonna ask like everyone let me know, us know in the chat if I need to raise the volume the for DMZ. If it all sounds good and all. Yeah, but I am trying to turn this into a Hydra. The little snake rock guy. Hello, Matthew.
Yeah, that little it reminded me kind of like a golem, the mystical patterns around the side of it,
Look,
which
I'm
is quite cool.
also looking at it. It's giving me vibes of like used in a lot of like South American cultures, like Aztecs, Incas, Mayans, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I've got the you've got golem type Pokemon, not actually golem, but it reminds me of it's the is it Golurk? It's got those kind of like
Yeah,
it's got the similar patterns to it in color scheme,
yeah.
which is quite nice. I wonder how many people will actually turn it into a golem type warrior like like Golurk is.
It's it's possible. Since one of the examples is like saying Zagger. I don't know the Pokemon in
Zygarde.
X and Y that's the worm, but then also gets like the different forms and like
Yeah, it's Zygarde.
that
It's got the like 2% Sylphie, the little worm, like set or single cell. Then you've got the dog form, and then the
big
big like
worm and then
giant, yeah, the worm, and
the
then you've got
neck.
and the snake one.
I
Yeah, it's kind of like it covered all bases with that design, didn't they?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to make if other fans try to make it into like the mech.
Oh, that'd be quite cool.
Yeah,
I do like your idea of a Hydra, though. That'd be quite cool.
yeah, because the idea, in a way, I think it's kind of the idea. It is kind of like how Zagreus, you have to get all the cells to make it bigger. I'm also thinking of like Miltan, where you technically like you have to get all of them to make all the little guys to make whatever it's called. So like the idea is like the at least like them being like put together, and so they make like multiple heads.
Yeah, they kind of combine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, like definitely like I recently watched Maya and the Free on Netflix, which is very heavily a lot of it in it is it's very inspired by like those ancient cultures in South America. So like that's probably also why I see a little bit of the
Yeah, I think anything with that kind of like that symbol, that kind of like almost square coil, instantly just brings to mind Aztecs, Mayans, those type of cultures.
yeah. Also my and the Free pretty good, but there's some parts that are like it feels like it needed more time, more episodes, all that. But that seems to but that always happens with stuff. Not surprising, well, especially on for being a Netflix show.
Yeah, they tend to touch on something really good, and then they kind of
Just
it's kind of like just taper off to make it into like more seasons, and it's like just give us a bit more of that good. You just got onto something really good there. That's a good idea. Why have you just stopped it dead there?
yeah, it. I don't know if you ever watched or know of El Tigre. It was
I'll
like
tell
an
you,
it was a Nickelodeon cartoon.
it sounds familiar. I think I've heard of it. I don't think I ever watched it.
Yeah, it came out when I was a kid, so I was definitely watching it. But it's the same guy who made Maya and the Free.
Ah,
Like, but also if you remember, I don't know. I guess it was almost like a decade ago at this point. If you ever saw the Book of Life, it was a 3D animated movie. You,
yes, I think I have. I don't know if I've seen it, but I know of it. I can't. I've seen that many. I'd have to actually look it up.
yeah,
I've seen so.
yeah. That's also his movie. It was also made by that guy.
Cool.
Yeah, and it seemed like there was a lot of people of like the cast was seemed to be I think it was mainly of Hispanic, of like Central America, South American descent, because Gabriel Iglesias had like a minor role in it. A few other voices that I recognized, but I just don't know their names. I have to double check who they are. Were in it. Stephanie Beatriz, who we all know, uh, Kingpin did a recent character fusion with her. She was also in it.
Nice.
Yep. It has like some good designs, some cool ideas. I'd say it's a. I'd give it a recommendation to watch if.
I'll have to put it on my to watch list. I need to get back in. I've got so much on Netflix to watch that I
Yeah.
haven't actually watched yet. I need to actually get back into some of it.
Yeah, I have like a lot on multiple stuff. There's animes I need to watch. There's a few other stuff.
Yeah, I need to watch some more Dragon Ball Daima. They're only doing 25 episodes or something like that,
Hmm.
and they're already on like episode 14 or 15 this weekend. So I don't know if they're doing it in one stent or they're just gonna. It's gonna end in like a couple of weeks. Like I think the end of February, or they're planning to have the last one ready by the end of February.
Huh.
Which is like, oh, that was a short series.
Huh. Yeah. I should at some point watch the Castlevania series.
Oh, it's amazing. Sorry, I've watched them. I'm not going to give spoilers, but
Yeah, no
the
worries.
artwork and the fight scenes are just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, yeah. I watched like the 4 episodes like years ago of the first season, so I need to rewatch. So I want to rewatch that, then go on to the newer stuff, pretty much.
Oh yeah, definitely watch it in order. It makes everything worth it with story and that. It's just
Yeah.
it's one of those series which is yeah, you got to watch it in order, but it I won't say it. I'll let you watch it and then I'll say my thoughts on some. So it's fine. Don't worry.
No worries.
No spoilers here. I'll shut up while I remember to.
Yeah, no worries. I'm trying to think what else is on, especially on Netflix that I should or need to be watching. My sister keeps like saying I should watch uh, Tiger and Bunny.
Oh, I've seen that. That is actually quite good.
Yeah. So yeah, which is like agree. I need to watch that.
There's quite a nice progression of character development in that as well. I don't want to I don't want to spoil anything, but there is some really good, as they do with kind of like anything based on like anime or Western anime. They go into over the series. They go into like the main characters a bit, and you actually everything starts making sense as it goes along. That, but it's quite well fed for the storyline of what's happening.
Gotcha. Also, hello Ben. I don't know yet about that first part, or if he's gotten over that yet. Um, Spamming him with voice Castlevania ones. I don't know. I don't know any of the cast that's in it. Is the thing, like the voice cast. So I can't. at the moment can't make any suggestions. I feel like most of my suggestions I usually give him happen to have at least one person in it that's also in Monster Prom. So
Why break a tradition? Let's go.
I mean the one I mean granted one the most recent one I didn't though, but that's because it since it relates to the Dan since that came out recently. Cause
Oh yeah, that's good series
yeah,
too.
hate the cliffhanger, but that they
I've
did.
not got to the cliffhanger bit that they did. I've stopped short of the end of it. I haven't had a chance to see it,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's
yeah, it's the most unique idea for a series I've ever seen.
definitely out there. But but since but I suggested in the recent one a fusion of Turbo Granny, Rita Repulsa from Power Rangers, and Mother Talzin from Star Wars: The Clone Wars, since they're all the same person.
That would be. Oh, I'd love to see his take on that. Kingpin, if you're watching, I think you should do that.
At some point, I might try that also. Granted, I've been saying a lot of stuff where I want to do voice actor fusions. There's one I really want to do for. I'm trying to remember their name. name. Like technically, they're like the voice actor for Winston in Overwatch. Winston isn't part of the fusion, but I'm still gonna bring it. But I'll bring it up. That's one of the things he's done.
On a reverse note, Ben, that's a hell of a lot of fusions. They suggested over 45 voice actor fusions.
That's a, that's definitely a lot.
Are you doing just one of these Pokemon alternate forms? Are you going to do both?
I'm gonna try to do both. I don't. On stream, who knows? Well, like right now on stream, saying.
Yeah,
Might,
I quite like the divisional designs for both of these. I just don't know. I haven't got an idea in my head of where to go if I was to attempt it.
yeah, sometimes it's just putting stuff down, seeing what happens. Yep. Definitely going to be some work done to make it look polish this to make it look a lot better, but yeah. Yeah, let's start at least a little bit. Work on some of the. Yeah, I'll go back and find some head detail stuff for and
Just thinking about it, Ben. If you did annoy Kingpin enough, you'd be banned from his server or from his YouTube. So if that's not happened, you're good.
yeah. Yep.
Is anyone else in chat gonna have a go at this challenge? Or do you actually, does anybody else know what the challenge is?
Eh, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many other people we have that are have also watched that also watch True Green. But like one of his most recent video where like he and the other artists that he brought in were all doing like the human Pokemon. like, I want to work on some human characters now.
Yeah, I looked at it and I thought, why did I not think to do that? And one of my good, yes, that was quite a cool concept.
Yeah, like, and this isn't just like turning like Pokemon into humans, or I thought like, hey, why don't do that with Digimon? Because like yes, there's some that are already human, pretty much, but you
Yeah, well,
can
they turn
turn
into
some.
human final forms, but
Yeah,
there's a ton that don't do anything.
yeah. There's some that are just like we have ones that are just gears or a dragon of some form.
Or make the human forms of their like starter evolutions in it, sort of like the original Digimon base form. Like the final ones turn into like Angelmon and stuff, and they're humanoid. You can make like a human younger version of it or something.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff you can do. Yeah, but also I need to work on just some normal human characters for. Obviously, I need to work on the fantasy project at some point again. Also, hello, Arc.
Hey, Ark.
I need to get some work on that. And, like, I've talked to DMZ and the others about it, and I haven't made a post yet. I do kind of also want to maybe change some ideas around or work on other different fantasy project ideas, because like I love the idea that I'm currently working on or trying to work on for this, but also, and I really want to make the story with it, but it also just feels like I made something that's a bit more detailed, and I know a lot of stuff that's about it that makes it a little harder to share in the videos, because I have already some stuff planned out, and it makes it a little harder to figure out what I can and can't say right away for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of planning in terms of how you want to reveal stuff and where you want to reveal it. That's you kind of want to go, oh yeah, this is the lore for this one, but then you're like, how much do I put into this? Will this spoil what I'm planning in this bit later? And I've not planned this bit later, and oh no.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there are other ideas I might. It's definitely going to be like a combination of try some stuff here and there, still see what I can get out in the year, and probably next year try to get Air of the Witch Knight actually out. Give me more time to actually prep, so it's more to how I want it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Currently, I'm only one episode in, so we'll see where I go.
Yep. Also, yeah, Arc, I just got hydrated, and also, yep, we're doing good. I'm getting a little better. Got a little sick after Fan Expo. There is the plan to try to make a video talking about what happened this time, like like Kingpin did one time for New York Comic Con. Just got to do it thing. Man, these lines suck.
Yeah, but you're just doing the ref bit at the moment, aren't you? Or are you on the inking stage? I haven't actually
I
looked.
don't know. It might be a combination of doing it. Nah, it might. I don't know. These might be like re-inks. They might get re-inked, but it's we'll see how we feel about them.
It's the only thing you really can do on it, isn't it? Ark, you not getting any notifications? I think I got a notification for this one.
I find it weird because I can get notifications for my own stuff.
Oh, I get that all the time. I look at it and I go, well, why do I need to know about it? I'm the one that's actually in it in the live stream.
Yeah, I'm the
Of
one
course I
who
know I'm
set
live.
this up.
Yeah, of course I know it's live. I mean, I'm on the live stream now while you've just told me I'm on the live stream.
Let's see. I do not like how that look. I'm gonna go actually do. Let's see. Maybe that also
What's been
helps.
put? Shot that Dempsey on night, realised I ratted Dempsey out.
I assume it's about you being a little bit behind on the fantasy world stuff, but like,
But I already said in the first one I'm planning to do at least one a month, so technically I'm behind in
yeah,
terms of episode releases, but in terms of the actual world, I'm on track.
yeah,
It's one of those weird ones.
yeah. I'm the one who's, I'd say, more so behind because I said I wanted. Well, granted, I think I did say, which is always what you should say, a try to do two a month. Um, with January being like saying the idea of the plan was January having free because of the intro, partially because most of it, the intro was done in 2024, or that was part of my logic. But yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm not worried about being behind on it. I know I'll catch up, but then again, I've technically got 3 redraw videos to do this month, at least. I got the February draw at the end of the month. I've done part 1. I've got part 2 I'm working on. It's like, yeah, it all kind of adds up, and then you're like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do that this month. Although I think John with Mr. S, even though he's planned his titles out, he's still working on his second video as well. So I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna be like I'm not gonna go to like anyone and be like, oh, you haven't done anything yet. Yeah, because no, this is to have fun.
And there's no actual release schedule we agreed on. I mean,
Yeah,
you could release them all at the end of the year and work on them in the behind the scenes, and after a whole month of just those videos non-stop for the last 2 months of the year. The challenge is to create our own fantasy world within a year.
yeah.
We're just deciding to drop it each month so that people can stay along with it and don't forget it, and to force us to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. In general, I do kind of want to do more original stuff as the focus this year. Granted, at the same time, there's a few of just some fun art ideas I just want to do. It might, it honestly, if anything, it's like kind of going away a little bit from what has usually been done on the channel. Well, the story stuff, putting stuff into other stuff. I think kind of want to just try some more original at some point.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing with my live streams, is trying to do more original art or art, even though it's like fusing Pokemon, it's not got a story or lore behind it. It's just the art for the art's sake. Like,
Yeah,
here's a fusion of these two. Does this look cool?
yeah. Like maybe, like if anything, it'd be kind of, for like I might do it where it's like a little bit like like when I did like the older Maria at the end of last year, where like maybe there's a little bit of a story that gets in, but like there's also a lot of like design notes.
Hmm. Those are quite fun as well, design note episodes. Ben, should that not be what do instead of how do you think of Popcross's Zodiac Archangels and Demons? And uh, it's quite funny how every artist has got some idea to do something with Zodiacs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it
I
is. I don't. I was going to. I was almost going to say it's an easy thing to do, which it isn't. That's a lie. Right. But I guess it's easy to be like, kind of be like inspired by it and try to get some ideas.
yeah, I watch. Well, I read the Return of the Disaster Hero, and their whole thing's based around zodiac signs as these gods from another realm. They can't actually stay on Earth, but they have followers, and the more followers they have, the more power they've got, and they've got saints who represent them, and saints have special abilities that put them above anything else, and they're fighting off these mysterious towers that appeared on Earth one day. And it's a really good story with all the constellations and stuff, and making the 13th constellation, which is the one of a snake, which is quite interesting. And they follow it through, and they've got like that, and then a mysterious civilization, and they give them different traits depending on what zodiac sign they are, for their powers and abilities. And it's like, this is so cool. I mean, this is something I've been planning. I would love to have done ages ago, and I started mapping out my own zodiac, kind of not exactly a rip off of it, but pretty much a rip off of it, with a few ideas for myself for a world. And then I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, no, this is going to take far too long to do. I can't do anything yet. I haven't fleshed it out enough. Not enough to do any justice to the zodiac stuff, because if you're going to add zodiacs, you need certain elements to be right. You can make up all the backstory you want on a lot of stuff and that, but what they represent, what their abilities are, what they're supposed to personality wise based on the zodiac, you need those down.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. I've watched and read quite a few stuff that's had like the zodiacs play some sort of theme in it. Like I watched Fairy Tale, so I know Lucy is able to like summon like technically all the constellations, but mainly you see the seven. Well, not
yeah,
like if she has the key for it, she can do the constellation, but it's mostly you see the technically the 10 zodiacs that she does have, while another one has the other two, and the 13th, which is always like I know there's like an actual lore reason of where like the snake holder guy is like considered like the 13th, but 12 makes it easier for stuff.
12 makes it easier, but the calendars originally had 13 months to them. I think it also comes from that. In some civilizations, there's 13 months to the calendar,
Ah.
and the days split up better. But they decided to, it got ditched, and it got ditched in some stories, and it became 12, and that's why the months are never even. If you actually took all the end bits of the month, put them together in the year, where you've got the like above 28, you got like the 30, 31st in each month. I think you could probably end up with close enough to another month.
Ah.
Or something daft like that. And it's just like, when I came across that, I was thinking, wow, that makes a lot more sense. I'm like, but that's my lucky number, 13. Why can't, because 13 has always been associated as a bad number,
Yeah.
an omen. So that's why they got rid of the 13 months in theory.
Game
At least that's what I think. But yeah, in theory, it could just be someone decided, yeah, you're not paying us enough for that.
Yeah.
Take it off the calendar.
Possible. But yeah, that has zodiac stuff. I've I've read Homestuck. That has the trolls being based off of the 12 zodiacs. I feel like there was other stuff I just do not remember off the top of my head.
I did want to go one. I was planning to go one other area. So you've got zodiacs, but you also have different zodiacs based on which culture you're in.
Yeah.
So the Chinese zodiac's completely different. It's based on
The lunar
year
year, yeah.
to rotate between the animals, whereas the more Western zodiac is based on the Sagittarius, Aries, and stuff. Even though it's got animals, it's also got like the Archer and everything else. So the play on that is you could have one as a good and one as a dark zodiac, and you could have them play against each other. And that's my storyline. And I was like, how do I do this without offending people, or do I care if I offend people?
I mean, depends on how you do it. As long as you're not being like,
Oh no, it would be literally those ones would be classed as dark, or they would have been corrupted along the ways, or a corrupted version of those zodiacs. If that makes sense, it wouldn't be. I'd saying it's inherently this because of this, because that's just asking for trouble. Don't care who you are. That's asking for trouble.
yeah. I did also remember that, like, that Daria Conan, the artist, one of the artists I followed for a long time at this point, right? She was working on like a kind of creepy circus where the different members of the circus were based off of the zodiacs, where we had Tauros being like the strong man, and it looked kind of like it was a minotaur, but it had like no skin. So it was
Wow.
like muscle. Well, there was Leo, which was like a beast tamer, which is like a very creepy kind of Tim Burton looking cat.
That sounds quite cool, actually.
Yeah, they like she has like speed paints for them on her channel. I will of course always be like say like tell people go check her out, check out her art, check out the Vampire series. I've at least gotten Nerd to check it out, so one
So you
down.
converted one, one down,
Yeah.
700 or 7,999,999,999,
I mean, I was just making the
and one.
joke about the artists, so uh, yeah. She hasn't. Unfortunately, she hasn't worked on that in a while, but still good art. And also, if you as a since they're speed paints, honestly, good. Some interesting music choices.
Ark says, a question to me and you. What dragon class would we be if we played as a dragon in D&D?
Like,
Hmm.
if like an actual dragon or like the dragonborn.
Yeah, I was
Then
just thinking that. Oh, are we dragonborn and we've got the ability to be like mages, warriors, and all that lot? Or are we actual dragons?
yeah,
Where we then just be whatever the celestial dragons or ancestral dragons or whatever the racist dragons are? Because I think almost every type of dragon's probably been covered by now in D&D in some form or another in some extended library of the monster books.
yeah.
Actual dragon.
Like like it's there is a lot of like I don't know if I would really want to be like an actual dragon DD because like you're just a dragon. You go around doing stuff, doing dragon stuff, and it's not like the same as being like a normal adventurer. But like type from that, like I'm even just trying to remember the different types. Most of them are just the different colors or metallics. Because then it's also just what element do you want to be. Like lightning's cool and fire's cool because very obvious reasons.
Ice is quite cool.
I mean, in both a technical sense and like power wise.
And as a pun, because I just realized what I
Yeah,
said. After I said it, I'm like, yeah, I really just made that pun. Oh my god.
yeah, yeah. element, if it was from those elements, I'd probably choose lightning. Uh, and then, and now I'm just now blanking because one of those, it's one of those where like sometimes you just blank when you're doing multiple stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm
Uh,
trying to think what other ones.
yeah. Though the arc is making me think of like a D&D campaign where you're like in Spyro.
Yeah, Spyro. Oh wow, that's a new video. Spyro characters as if they're in D&D.
Eh? Something.
Other than Stealth Elf would be pretty much the same, but other than that, the rest of them could be pretty cool creatures.
Yeah. Granted, I was thinking like, I was, I was going to, I was thinking of like actual Spyro, the real Spyro, the
Oh. Well, I was thinking of Skylanders Spyro.
yeah. I purposely said it like the Magneto X-Men or X-Men First Class meme, the real, the real.
The real Spyro.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. That definitely sounds like a very ambitious campaign idea, arc, with them starting as babies and then growing up. Sounds like it could take a lot of planning.
And a while, but it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. It does also remind me of this video I saw that was talking about this game this person wanted to make where they were going to where you be a dragon and then you can do stuff where you can get your like the dragon's ancestors will then get like abilities and stuff from I don't know. I can probably find the video well, I can find the video pretty easily. I know that. It's just also it does remind me a little bit of what's going on. And I hate that there's a leaf blower being used outside. I know it's not family because the only person that would use it is at home at the moment.
On the plus side, I can't hear it over the Discord, so I don't think they can hear it on chat. But for you can hear it non-stop, and you're like, no.
Yeah, it's always the thing. Like you hear sounds like that, and then you're like, is it picked up on the mic?
Yeah, it's insane how well the mics are. They pick up the littlest thing in the room, but anything outside the room that you can hear really well, they block out, and you're thinking, I wish I just knew what it blocked out.
Yeah, sometimes. Though sometimes it does pick up the stuff from outside. Because I can tell you how many times I've edited a video and like of my recording and like, oh yeah, there's a car just goes by at that point in time and like.
Oh my god, tell me about it.
Yeah, which is like usually I'm like I notice it right away when I'm like, okay, a car just made it. It's probably going to be picked up on the mic, and then I can redo it. Not always happens though.
Worst bit for me is, it's always the minute you go to record. It's quiet all day. The minute you press the button and you get into the swing of things, some noise happens, and you're like, really?
Yep. On a different, on like I guess similar note, but also a different note. First off, like if we were doing like the Dragonborn one, I kind of really want to play like a Dragonborn, like paladin that's also paladin warlock build, because I don't know, this sounds cool. I am partially inspired by the fact of the Lego D&D minifigures they came out with like last year, where there's a Dragonborn that's either a paladin or a cleric. So that's part of like thought of like why I just really kind of want to do that. And then on a different note, I've decided to watch a little, try to get back to watching One Piece. And I was like probably in the beginning of Marineford, and I decided to go back a little bit to the Impel Down arc, and recently we saw Sadie, which, if people remember, or Kingpin and someone else pointed out, Sadie is voiced by the same person that voice. Sadie's voice actress is also Gangle's voice actress. And even just the little bit I saw of her in that episode, I was like, okay, yeah, I can actually hear a little bit of Gangle here.
Now you can never unhear it.
I will never unhear it, yes. It is still weird because this person, there's a reason why they're called Sadie.
Yeah, but now, no, we're renaming them. They're officially Gangle now.
So it's very weird compared to, Gangle's personality, or Gangle's usual personality in the episodes, because of her mask getting broken.
Yeah, it's always weird when stuff like that happens, and you look at it and you think, but, never mind. But at the same time, you're like, you'll never unhear that voice ever again on anything that you see. But it's never going to be that, except for the character you first knew them as, and then that's it. No matter what is played on later, it's like,
yeah,
that's such and such.
Honestly, depending on it, I think it depends a little bit for me. But
I'm useless with actors' names 9 times out of 10. So, but I remember all the characters they play in films I've seen. So I'm like, isn't that such and such from that film? And they say this actor, yeah, this actor. And I said, no, it's this character. And they're like, this actor, look it up. I look it up. I go, oh right, yeah, you were right. It was that actor. But I can just hear that voice, that character, and hear this, and that's all I can picture is this character being this part.
Oh yeah, there are definitely times where I hear it too. Honestly, I can probably just do. Yeah, and I need to just really do. Like I said, I really want to make characters, so I gotta just. If anything, it's gotta do like what Kingpin's doing, like the 100 character challenge, just to have, so I can make characters. The excuse to make characters. Are they going to be? Do I know what project they'll be for? Or when I make it, no. It's just to do it because I want to do it. Also, it'd be good for any like, what's the word? Portfolios. Have some characters in the portfolio.
Yeah, I have a hard enough time trying to remember the voices for my current characters. I'm not going to add 100 more characters, and then people go, yeah, what do they sound like? I haven't got a clue. They all sound like the same guy.
Like if I'm doing them, it's not going to be great. If I'm thinking like, oh, who would I want to voice this character? It's like, ooh, sometimes that's easy. Sometimes it's like hard, because like you can think of just multiple people. There's definitely been like some character ideas like, oh, I can see like Kingpin voicing them, or honestly, a lot of people from Boss Level I've had like in my head be like, yeah, I think they could. I think I can see them voice this character.
Yeah, it's weird. It's also every time I go do an accent, depending on the accent, I default to almost like if I go to Russian, I default either to Pennsylvania or Transylvanian partway through it. But I also start off and start wording it, and because it's the Russian English, I just instantly go to Vasily Kusanak, and I'm thinking, no, 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 this has got to be a different way of doing the character, not a voice I've heard, and I think, oh, that's stereotypical for the classic stereotypical one. It's like, no, I can't have it too close to that one. I need to do a slight twist on it.
Yeah, definitely that times.
That is one of the reasons why I'm quite happy that Tarsa has a slightly different Irish accent than Connor Farley. It went there's a few different ways of doing the accent, and thankfully Popcross went a different way to what I went, which means that the characters don't they're not from the similar sounding region. It's the best way to put it. It's hard to explain, but Tarsa's got the kind of like the what's it? It's like the Dara O'Brien type of Irish accent, whereas the one that I've got is got more the Father Ted Irish accent, which is slightly different, but they're both an Irish accent.
Hmm. Yep.
I still got to work on my Russian accent. I have not even practiced that in a while.
I gotta practice a lot of accent and voices.
Yeah, I went to do Loki the other day, and I was like, Alexa, stop. I went to do Loki the other day, and yeah, it's like power. And I came back to it and went insolent fool. So I'm like, oh, I've got that down, great. And I did the Shan, I was like, great. And then I went to do Zara, and I was like, this is a new character. No, I got no voice for this. I've got no clue what to do on this one. So I
I'm now
think her accent's gonna change from time to time.
I'm looking at that. I gotta. I might do a quick figure out how I want to do the. How should the body look? Because it's going to be squares.
Shouldn't it just be a giant version of the original Snake body that he put in? So you
Yeah,
kind of like got them coming out of a consistent structured body, whether it's aligned or not.
I'm almost thinking like it could be a bit more stacked. Because it could probably also give it some legs. Because Hydra.
Yeah, some versions they have legs, some versions they don't.
I am do have like the Disney version pulled up
Oh,
to
from
like
Hercules.
yeah to kind of help figure out a little bit, but it might just be this kind of mess I have. Just then figure out the legs and tail a little better. I do also want to do zodiac related, turning zodiacs into something. I don't know what off the top of my head, but I would love to do that.
Yeah. I feel I sit on ideas too long, and then by the time I go to do them, someone else has done them, and then it's forever that person's idea in our communities. And I'm like,
Eh.
yeah, I can't do that yet. I know sometimes I
Oh,
just
I mean
ignore
right
it, but
away, I
other
guess.
times
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's like I might have an idea to do this. I've been planning it out for a while, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, they've just released that, and I was planning to do something like that soon, and I
Uh,
hate being on the same wavelength for some of you guys sometimes.
I know.
It's great. We all think about the same stuff and we all like the same interests, and it's like it used to be when podcast did a video. I do one a little while after, but at the end of the week after. But it was a similar topic because I thought about doing this topic as this. It was just a different what the as was, and it would often be Pokemon or the redraws would be similar. And we wouldn't talk, and it's like, oh, we're on the same wavelength. And now it's like, yeah, we're on the same wavelength. I can't do that. I need to do something else. I need to try and do something that's different to a degree.
Yeah, I mean,
Not because doing the same thing's a problem. It's just you kind of want to put your own spin on it and make it a bit different. Is kind of what you want to do to try and stand out a little bit.
yeah, that's true.
Unfortunately,
Like that's part's true. There's definitely ideas that if I do continue or go back to doing like our usual stuff, that I will. But like, yeah, I know. Other people have also done it, but like I kind of still want to do my own twist on it because like I've done a lot that's still my own twist. Granted, also, I'm still gonna still think when you see that like still think has the Hazbin Hotel on the Suicide Squad part where like yeah I want to do this part I did partially get found Pop Cross because of the anime and the cartoon characters on the Suicide Squad. He hasn't done it in a while. Let's do it. And then he's like, I'm thinking about doing it, or at the very least,
there's a one-shot episode, and you're like,
where it's like, oh crap. But in a way, that kind of then led to all of us starting to talk. So
yeah, it's the catch-22. It's like because we like the same topics, all of us together and stuff. By the time we get around to doing it, and even if Popcross has done it, we're like, we do a topic, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I find myself checking everyone's channels to go, have they done this or have they done something like this? So I know, try not to, try to either avoid what's in their video if I haven't seen it before, or watch it again to avoid what they've done.
that is true.
And not in a nasty way, because everyone does amazing artwork and stuff in their video and stories. It's just a case of
You
don't want to get influenced or be accused of copying it when you're trying to put your own spin on it, and you're just using the same characters because they're popular characters.
Yeah,
That's the catch-22.
Ben, for that question, Ben, I don't know when for in general for the anything on the Suicide Squad or in the usual vein of what I've been doing for videos. Because I kind of I don't know feel a little burnt out from doing it that way, or like how I've been doing the videos. Because I still like doing some of it, but I'm might be trying to do something a little more different.
Yeah, I think the problem we've got is it's all great doing like the what ifs and stuff. We do enjoy it, but we've all got our own interests, what we like to draw, and if we're just constantly doing what everyone wants to see, and it's not some of the stuff that we enjoy doing, like you want to do more character design stuff, which you might not get a chance to do with some of the what ifs, just because of the nature of what they are. I like to do some of the more anime or the creature design stuff from the redraws, but I dropping them into a what if, it's like, well, unless it's some of my childhood or something, some of the modern stuff, I'm like, it's great, but I don't feel the motivation for it or the excitement from it.
Yeah.
And you're just doing it for the algorithm or the YouTube. You're not doing it because you want to do it, which gives you the passion to push your art and go further. And you can tell the difference between the videos, no matter if there's almost a very marginal bit. People can tell by watching it something's missing, and it's just you burn out trying to chase a standard if you're not infused, if you're not like motivated to chase it on the topic. You kind of struggle to, it's hard to explain, you kind of struggle to have the motivation to do it. You need to do some of these personal projects, as I call them, or things you like to do in videos from time to time to just break it up or just refresh and stuff.
Yeah. Plus, also, doing some more original stuff is probably, especially unfortunately in the art field, is probably going to get you better noticed for if you want to try to get a job. Because as much as like doing like fan art stuff can be useful and all, and definitely, obviously, art is is supposed to be having fun and all, but it's also thinking about it a little bit where like if I do some of this stuff also, it's going to be more beneficial in a way. Plus,
Yeah, you also
also,
don't.
if because
Sorry.
also, I've at least seen one video talking about like a little bit about it, where like if you make stuff about that's about your own stuff or characters and stuff, then you can build an audience that they want to see your characters. They want to see that stuff. Where this is where you're mostly going to be the only person doing it. Maybe if you get more popular notice, you might get other people doing it also. Oh, fan arts and all. But it's mainly only going to be you, because they said like, oh, you could do like, I think they said like Fire Emblem is their example in the short. You could do Fire Emblem, but there's like a bunch of other artists also doing Fire Emblem. So what's going to make them stay? Hey, which is a double-edged sword though, because like, then how are you going to get noticed? Because that is a nightmare in itself, trying to get noticed. But it's kind of like
Yes.
pretty much a balance, I think.
Yeah, this is why I'm trying to do a more organized approach. So I mean, I know I'm like redraws this month because the way it just fell from January onwards with work and stuff to get time to do the community redraw. I ended up being behind. Um, just had a lot of stuff happening. But it's also the case of you can't push your art or develop your own style or experiment or find what you want to do if you're just doing the same thing over and over and over. And I don't mean by drawing the same picture or, or drawing female characters over and over or something. I mean drawing the same topic, like turning this into this, turning this into this. Although there's a variety you can do and it's great and you can rotate them, after a while, you need to do something fresh or different.
Yeah.
It's the only way you're going to grow. It doesn't matter what subject it is. You could be a musician. You could be uh, in the military. You could be president of the United States. You could be a martial arts instructor. You could be a simple artist. If you're doing everything day in, day out, and you're not trying something or putting a spin or doing something that makes you go, yes, I'm enjoying this, or wow, I didn't realize this. This is quite cool. You're not getting any growth, and if you're not getting any growth, it's just pointless. It doesn't matter. You just don't have any. Like you say, you don't have anything to show for it. You don't have any of your own characters or any of your own kind of like way of thinking on things for the way of thinking or that looks, and people go, "Wow, I didn't think about that," or "Wow, this looks awesome." You don't find out what works or sets you apart.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry that if I then got very quiet afterwards, because like I was also then still, again, it's one of those things where like I'm trying to also figure out this, but like I do the conversation, but yeah, it's like 100% agree with that. Uh, like there's still some
Yeah,
like some fun ideas that are kind of in the fan art area that I still want to do because they're still fun. But but I guess it's kind of like you get kind of bored also. Like I've been in doing digital art and posting online for pretty much 10 years at almost 10 years at this point. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Benedict. Yeah, like I kind of see some like Aztec inspiration in like the original, so I'm trying to incorporate that here.
Yeah, one of the key things Ron did say or True Green did say is it needs to make sense or be easy for you in your description to make sense how you got from the original to where you've got to. So if it incorporates part of the original design, it's actually easier for him to see, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah,
Rather than a case of, because if it's too simple, he needs to understand why it's really plain simple. If it's too complex, he needs to understand why it's complex. Like with Zygarde, you've got different percentages to get to this overall form, and it's its most each of those individual forms, the four forms are one's like a weak form, one's like okay, it can protect and defend a bit. The next one's the big snake one that's like okay, it can terrify, and the final one's the big mech that can just overpower everything. It makes sense because it's a scale thing
yeah,
in terms of like the power structure and what it transforms into because it's kind of got all these cells to mutate or increase its power.
yeah,
But just quickly going back to what we were saying before, the other thing also is if we're doing the same thing day in, day out, and we're all doing the same thing, everyone's doing what if, and Popcross was doing what if, then everyone gets known as this version. I mean, someone said to me, I'm the British version of Popcross at one point. I was like, well, yeah, because our content's quite similar and the same, but at the same time, it's like, that was a compliment. And then at the same time, it's like, but yeah, you're just seeing me as a copy of Popcross.
yeah,
You're not seeing me as Dempsey J Illustrations drawing these with his own characters that are similar to Popcross. You just see me as, oh, well, you're just a British guy doing what Popcross does. It's like, oh, well, thanks for
yeah,
that. Kind of took all the effort, and in the nicest way, it was a compliment. It was like, wow, I've been referred to like on the standard or the thing as Popcross. It's like, wow, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, but you just see me as a Popcross clone,
yeah,
which is nice, but from a personal point of view, you don't want to be a clone. You want to, even if you've got stuff similar to it, you want to be like,
you still want to be like your own.
yeah. If it was like you're the next Pop Cross, that's different because that implies you're like the next. Wow, we want to watch your content all the time. When you just say imply it almost like you're a British Pop Cross, it's like okay, so yeah. Now that I sound like a clone, that's probably why I don't get half as many views. Difference between the next as in oh my god you're doing amazing, you're up there level with to you're this cloned version of it.
Yeah,
Oh no, I'm not saying I am. I'm saying at one point I was referred to this because the topics were similar, but it's that referral bit which is like yeah,
yeah,
you know and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean Popcross is an amazing guy. I mean he brought the artist group together
yeah,
and stuff and inspired us all to while he was the only one in the niche doing the narrators and stuff and the crossover pop culture stories, he inspired us all and encouraged us all to do it. I mean, my channel wouldn't be where it is today without his help and encouragement and the collabs he's done and stuff. I'm forever grateful for it. It's just a case of there's a point where you feel that even though you're doing those things, like Knight was saying, you need to branch off to you got to branch off to things that you want to do as a creator, even if it's a pivot on the channel, because that's what you want to create. If you're not enjoying what you're creating, there's no point doing it. Which is definitely a catch-22.
yeah,
Because you've got to do so much to get notified by YouTube to be pushed out there, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, that's great. And after that, you're like, why aren't I getting pushed out there? I'm doing the friggin' stuff.
pretty much. I do feel like it's that trying to do like a mix at the beginning of original and of like showing original and non-original stuff is probably like a good idea. Yeah, your more original stuff might not get as many views at the beginning, but if the the other stuff gets is able to get some good attention, you might be able to get people to stay and be willing to check out your other stuff.
Yeah, at the beginning you can experiment with various different niches, styles and stuff, but then at some point you need to you need a constant game plan with YouTube, it seems, and it's hard to do it. But you need. This is why this year I'm branching out to tutorials and more design notes or more. If I draw somewhere, trying to break it down like the tips and stuff because evergreen content, because that content will stay good. It doesn't matter about software; it'll stay good going forwards regardless. But you need to have a bit of evergreen content. You need a bit of content that the fan group might not quite like on topics you're bringing in, and you need what's core to what you've got currently for your subscribers and what brought them in the first place. And if it's getting that balance between them and the ability to do them, that is so difficult to do without losing your
Yeah.
motivation on it, or if you're doing it on a rotating scale, like you do one tutorial a month, one redraw a month, one what if a month, and one personal project a month. You got to make sure you get them in. If you don't get them in, or you start falling behind, unless it's something you want to do on a video, by the time you get around to that video, you're like, you might love drawing it, but when it comes to editing it and stuff, you're just like, I don't really care. Just no, just
Yeah.
get this out here. You just, and it's unfair to your audience because you want to do the best you can do for your audience.
That is also true.
Ben, the answer to that shown away podcast is the YouTube artist version of Nick Fury is no. Not quite.
Sure. I'll dress up Black Widow. Sure, why not?
I'm not Captain America.
It's there is some irony there though.
I'd be Captain Britain, wouldn't I? Just the male version.
Wasn't there like I feel like there was a male Captain Britain at one point also.
There was a male Captain Britain in a white and red suit, which had like a British cross on it and got completely wiped out. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it was DC or Marvel, but yeah, they did not last long.
I was gonna assume
Nerds
Marvel
Hulk.
because yeah.
Yeah, apparently Nerdist Hulk and Kingpin is Iron Man.
I remember the drawing Nerd did when we did the first collab because I remember that was you were technically the Captain America because usually Iron Man is like the leader as like it's pretty much like the first actual Avenger in the stuff, and
Yeah.
depending on the stuff, it's then usually Captain America. So you were like the second one because you started doing it before the rest of us. After Popcross, so he was Iron Man, and then it was just like I guess having fun and stuff. I was drawn as Thor. Her Nerd drew himself as Hulk, and then Kyle was Deadpool just to be different. Or maybe were you Spider-Man actually for that? I need to pull up. We should probably pull up that old drawing.
Oh, I can't remember. Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, so Spider-Man could potentially be what I might have been on it. I don't know who was what. I vaguely remember what you're on about, but it's just been that long since we've had
I mean,
tons
it's
and
been
tons of stuff.
almost a year. It's
Yeah, my brain doesn't go back that far. It's hard enough going back on my channel a year with what my narrators have done, and I've got that. I've got that logged on a load of videos. Because I'm the oldest. Oh, in that case, I should be Doctor Strange. Because Doctor Strange fought Dormammu by bringing time into a dimension on a loop, and technically, the reason why he's the expert of the mystic arts is he was in there for so long, he mastered the mystic arts. And considering how bad he was at the start of it, you can imagine how long he was in there. So technically, I'm Doctor Strange, and I'll be happy with that.
and he's played by Benedict Cumberbatch, and so he's British.
Yep, and he's Sherlock Holmes, and he's a whole load of other characters as well. So it's amazing.
Hello, Khan.
Oh, I did my little skit, didn't I, with the guy who plays Watson from Sherlock, because he plays the agent in Black Panther. He plays the American CIA agent,
Yeah.
and I did the skit between them, going, "Do I know you?" He goes, I'm the Sorcerer Supreme, uh, expert in all master of the mystic arts and all this lot. Oh, okay. He goes, "Come along, Watson," and he goes, "Sherlock." I did a little meme myself of it, but it never kicked off. I was like, oh, come on, that was a good meme.
I remember there was a meme back when Infinity War first came out about all the people with how a lot of the actors had like the same name, because we have Tom Holland and Tom, I forgot his last name, Hiddleston, Tom Hiddleston, Spider
Yeah,
Man and
for
Loki.
Loki.
We got two Benedicts with being Doctor Strange and Wong. God, free Chris's. Got free Chris's in the live action.
Yeah.
I mean, Ark, you could technically, we could choose whichever superhero we want to draw ourselves as. Is it all in order of like appearance? Like movie wise, if we did movie wise, you could either be a
Movie
lot of
wise,
people.
if it's movie wise, then Captain America, because you went in chronological order, because Captain
Touche.
America was the first one that was created as a super soldier back in World War II before any of the others were born. So, technically speaking, movie wise, I would be the oldest. I would be Captain America. I look good for my age, frozen on ice. Um, but no, movie wise, that would probably be where you'd go, because if you go in movie release order, it's obviously like Iron Man and then building it up, because at the end of Iron Man, that's where you get the whole Avenger initiative with Nick Fury
I
introducing the
think then
thing and that.
if we did movie order wise, I think technically then you would be Hulk, because that would have been the second superhero they did. Even though
I could do
everyone
that.
collectively forgets about that Hulk movie.
Yes, the one with the well, they did two. One was absolutely terrible
Yeah,
and one was really good.
the one that is in the MCU.
Yeah, because there's the one that was bad with the guy who he
The,
played Banner, and then he turned back and it was like in the desert playing with the tanks and then destroying the place and that. And then there's the second one where it was the whole fight against his dad, and it was
I think the third one then, because it's the one that has Abomination in it.
yeah, the one with Abomination in it is the third one because no, actually,
That's the MCU one.
yeah, that the MCU one with Abomination, because the other one that didn't have Abomination had him fight his dad in the lake bit with the you couldn't even tell what's going on in it because it was a nighttime fight scene with his dad who basically became like an absorbing man, absorbing all the gamma radiation and being this big cloud underwater
I saw
fighting the Hulk. It
I,
was really stupid.
I saw it once. Once was enough.
Yeah, I watched it more than once, but some of the fight scenes were good because they had the gamma enhanced Hulk dogs. He basically fed the blood to his dogs and made them like big ass, terrible, scary things. That was quite cool.
Hmm. I'm trying to think timeline wise. Ben, um, I think timeline wise, Captain Marvel would be the second superhero if we just looked at the timeline, because
Well,
Captain Marvel is like in the 90s.
yeah, give me a second because once I finish this lineup, I'll load up Disney Plus and look at the chronological order.
Yeah.
You can do that.
If for you, Arc, the best for you is, I feel like, would have
Right.
to
I'm back.
involve some sort of either magic or mystic stuff, because I don't know. One of the I think of your angelic demon a lot. So
Yeah,
so so
a dimensional summoner or something. That'd be quite cool.
so
I'll be back in a minute. I'm just gonna get a drink and sort a few things, then I'll check out the timelines.
yeah, no worries. But yeah, probably some sort of MCU character that is able to like use like magic, like magic is like either possibly a god. You could probably we could say it's one of the gods because there's multiple of them that do show up or demigod. So I don't know. It might be something you can like do some research on. I am actually going to be right back. I am going to use the restroom. Like I like what we have. I might be going to something else. I'm I might try one of these other stuff soon. Because while I do like what we got so far, I might try something else in a moment. But I will be right back. Uh, okay, back. Transition to that. Yep. Let's do a quick. And this is. I'll do a quick look to see how it is with it, but I probably need to recalibrate that at some point. Yeah, it's looking okay. So I can. Fix that up. And yeah. Also, welcome back, Ark. But welcome back, Ark. I can see that, Ben. I can see that, Ben and Ark. Yeah. On a different note, though, I kind of. I'm gonna do a quick swap over, and we're gonna work on something else now. Which I know is probably a little weird, like working on. I do think, thank you, Ark, but I do. I think I'm gonna try to work on something else now, or at least like sketch. I want. It is partially because I don't hate it, but I am. I don't hate it, but like if you're talking about, you are talking. If you're talking about my art, yep, probably, yep, you're talking about that. I don't hate it, but I do just. I don't know what the word is. Just need like a little break from it, I guess. So we're gonna work on something else. Yeah, one of the artists I follow who occasionally does videos with then get to show stuff art. They decided to have they want as like a monthly kind of challenge thing. They're having people make Pokemon humans, which it happened, of course, right after True Green 7 video. So don't know if that's a coincidence or not. So I kind of want to work on a video for that. I'm not sure off the top of my head, Ben. I it might it would yes, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah.
I am back. Did I miss anything?
And mainly I decided I'm going to like take a break from the Fakemon and work on something else. At the very
Cool.
least, probably sketch that until for like probably the rest of the stream. Like I forgot their full username, but YouTuber Mari is like it's the same YouTuber. Then last month drew magical girl, magical boy Heath for. They're
Oh, okay.
like having it this month, sort of challenging to be human Pokemon humans, kind of like the recent True Green 7 video. And
Oh, that
so
sounds quite cool.
yeah, so I wanted to try finally actually enter and try to and do something for it because I've said multiple times I was going to for other ones, but never did them.
That sounds cool. That sounds like a good plan. And you did say you want to do more character design, so it's good practice.
Yeah, probably should Honestly, it might do that a lot with some Pokemon. Honestly, she could do that with original characters in general. Oh,
Hmm.
like yeah, figure out, do it first for like if they would be for this world, but then be like, okay, now let's how would I redesign them for a more original thing? And right now, I'm designing a Zubat girl because I don't know, just it's what came to mind to at least try first. And Ark asked, "How would you draw a giant pose that are planets?" Um,
How do you mean a giant pose that are planets? Do you mean a pose with a load of planets in it and a character in the middle, or do you mean just a scene with planets? Because they're two very different things.
yeah, like
If it's got another character as the focal point, your character would be the main focal point in the center, and all the planets would be lit or zoomed in enough to give the impression of multiple planets of key planets in your story, but they wouldn't take away from your character in contrast with the color. So your character might be quite warm and everything's quite cool because of space, or the reverse. Your character would be maybe a full body, but the planets would be zoomed in so that you'd see certain aspects of some close, some distance, and a distance away. If it's just planets as background, and just planets, you'd find a way to put them all in like they might all be in alignment or a certain set of positions that might make a shape or something that'll make it um, a giant that is a planet, like corpse.
that.
Do you mean plant, not planet?
No, I think they think I'm thinking they're seeing like a giant corpse just floating through like space that is then acting as like the planet.
You've got Star Lord's dad from Marvel. He's got an avatar, but he's just a giant planet. Is it Odo? Or what do they call his name? Not Odo.
Ego, ego.
Eo. That was it. Yeah, Eo. You've also got the giant planet, which is one of the Green Lanterns. You've got the Celestials, which are the dead bodies of those big giant things that were trying to come out of Earth in Eternals, and they use their skull in Guardians of the Galaxy in that as a space base. So you could have it as them. Unicron's another idea. He's technically a transformer, but a planet, so you could have that. If the
Technically,
planet, if a giant
Cybertron
is a
itself
planet,
is also a person, but
yeah.
good.
You've also got the idea of Bender from Futurama when he was going through space and he had those little people on him. He's technically a giant planet because of the meteor that hit
Yeah,
and life formed
pose.
on him. So you'd basically do the shape of the giant or whatever it is, and you would show life or an ecosystem on it.
Yeah, and pose wise, it's kind of would be kind of like how a dead pose would kind of look in general. I would think. Like joke
Just
wise, I would say like either the Family Guy or Yamcha pose, but that's only as like a joke. If this was a very comedic thing, I would say those two poses. But if it's trying to be more serious, I would say, hey, honestly, like think of like some of the poses in like the original G1 Transformers movie, where like with like the Decepticons when they're floating in space after the battle before they get upgraded by Unicron. Use like some of the poses that they have as like inspirations because they're very close to like dead bodies floating in space. That would probably work really well as like a pose for it.
or better yet, arc. You remember that artwork where you did that character drowning underwater? That pose, literally weightless. You nailed it in that pose. That would be it going through space. It's just probably less weightlessness in the hair and more frozen solid. Other than that, that pose would have been perfect. That one where the arm was up and the leg was down, and an arm was down and the leg was kind of up and it was curved. If I remember rightly, it looked like there was no weight to the character whatsoever. That's the pose in space you would have because everything floats in space. There's no weight. The only weight is the object you go towards with its central mass. which is why you're drawn to a planet in gravity. Other than that, you don't. You go off in space. Apparently, if you were to burp without a spacesuit on, you would be going in the direction opposite to where you burped forever.
Yeah.
You could do but you can do whatever pose you want, Arch.
Hello,
If
Galaham.
that's the pose you want. If that's the pose you want, a baby pose or a crouching pose, like a fetal position or a crouching pose, and that's for the pose that they can have while they're going through space. Hey, Galaham 19, how's it going?
I love how she looks already. I
Oh, that's looking quite cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it like where like how the eyes sometimes get like covered in shadow because Zubat doesn't have eyes, but so I'm doing like want to do like the shadow trick, which is
Oh,
why
I get
like
you.
which is like kind of why her beanie is kind of even like further down than probably on some people.
Yeah,
Like
to
normal.
cast that overlying shadow bit like you'd get with a cap. Kind
Yeah,
of like what I did with that commission I did where I put the cap so I didn't have to draw the eyes.
yeah. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. Gallagher 19 says, "Hey, I'm currently doing a color wheel art challenge. Would you like to take part and suggest a character? I'm going to start on the red section soon."
Yeah, sure. I really want to do one of those at some point.
I do. I just need
I
to.
kind of might.
I,
Maybe I might do it with like try to figure out original characters for each color, following that color. That's a good idea.
yeah, I need to figure out how I'm going to get people to submit what they want so I can tally it up or choose what they want for each one, like a set time for the comments on a post, and then they go into a random wheel spinner, and I might choose each section has 4 characters or something, and I spin the wheel 4 times, and then I've got a decent picture of each one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, I want to.
Um,
I'm trying to think. I'm,
in the meantime, Galaham 19, if you check out Fantasy Creed's channel on Shorts, you will find tons of art challenges that you could try. Fantasy Creed's always doing your imp sona, your fantasy sona, your something sona, your thing challenges, which are quite cool. So I'd recommend checking some of them out if you're stuck.
I'm trying to think, and I'm just look. I'm also like looking at what do I have in my peripheral vision that is red.
Galahad 19, draw a sooner from Evangelion. She's the character who has the red Eva 02, I believe it is, and she's the one with the red hair and the red suit. Very popular character.
I got it. Sorry, something in my throat.
That's fine.
Like, uh, what if, like, Galhan was like getting. Oh, Satan, hell of a boss, Satan. That's a good red choice. In all honesty.
Blitzo.
Uh, like no, it's
Eat a
like
red imp.
my
Blitzo.
was like for what I was trying to think, like getting it in my head, mind, or out. I was like I was trying to think, like I was trying to think, almost like of a Digimon, because like, oh, like a Pokemon was suggested, like, ooh, what if Digimon?
Yeah, Pokemon would be Sizer would be a good one.
A
Digimon that's red would be
Guilmon?
no, which one was it?
Guilmon's evolution. I don't remember what it's called. That's what I'm gonna suggest. Guilmon's evolution.
Uh yeah, Guilmon is a good one, and then he is
No,
um yeah, Guilmon would be a good one straight off the bat anyway, because it's an
yeah.
orangey red color. I think it was War Guilmon or Guilmon X or something daft like that, because they had it, and then they had eventually you'd get on the
Realmon, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah, then you get the DNA digivolve where they fuse the two together.
I will also, though, for a purple suggestion, I will suggest Impmon from Digimon for purple if you also want something from that.
Uh,
I know that purple is far away, but still.
oh, okay. If you want a red character, Guyver Gigantic in its well, I'm going to take Pokemon phrase, Gigantamax form. The Guyver, so Guyver 1 has a Guyver Gigantic suit that's yellow, but it can go like gigantic, like 50 foot tall, and be red, according to the graphic novels and the comics before they got put on infinite hiatus.
Rip.
And if you want a purple character, Guyver 3. If you want a bluish character or a light blue cyan color, Guyver 1. If you want a yellow character, Guyver 2. Uh, I've got these all worked out. I can do the whole Guyver series going straight up.
Hey, orange, I randomly just like, I was starting to just think, I don't know, thinking, cast off got into my head, which, like, yeah, we can technically suggest. I forgot how to say her name. Hey, the blonde that always wears red. But I can at the very least remember, like, Frankie's name, so I can suggest that for orange. Also, yeah, Impon is great. I remember liking him in Tamers. And, sorry. I have to clear my throat again.
You could do most of the My Little Ponies for the color wheel.
That is also true.
And Care Bears. Care Bears.
Yeah, that is true.
Because you got Grumpy for blue, you got Lionheart for orange, you got Tenderheart for red, because he's a red teddy bear, but
Oh,
in fact, he's a bit
Tentamon
brown.
could also be red.
Power Rangers, yeah, any of the Power Rangers would do. The Red Rangers.
Yeah, do the SPD one, 2025 year of SPD. And I do like Beelzemon's wing form. I don't really care much for the version that's in Digimon Fusion though. I don't know. I don't like the cyborg parts. I like the jacket. I know there's like an X. I think it's like X antibody version of Beelzemon where he has like a red, where the red mask part, but Beelzemon with his wings looks good. And if you like Impmon, I highly recommend listening to the Bridge Alliance's Digimon D&D series called Digidestined. One of the partner Digimon is Impmon, and he is great. He is played phenomenally well by Coffin Jockey in that.
Oh, I know the one you're on about. He evolves to that almost this mask with like a was it like a shotgun or something?
Yeah, like, well, it depends. Since it's Digimon, how the Digimon evolutions can vary. Balmon, depending on stuff for Digimon, can either be, seems like it's either the champion or the ultimate level used with Impmon, and then depending on how they want to do Beelzemon, because sometimes like Beelzemon without the wings is like ultimate, and then Beelzemon with the wings is mega, because Digimon is weird.
Yeah, the megas and the ultimates are completely different, and then
Yeah.
you've got the armor enhanced egg versions where they had the egg of knowledge and the egg of power, and then you had like Magnumon or whatever it was, like a Magnum, and then as in the gun Magnum, but it had the golden armor on with the blue body, and it was like, wait, hang on a minute,
Yeah.
what? They just suddenly went this version, then suddenly they completely changed to be something nothing related to what their evolutions were before, and you're thinking, you didn't even mega evolve or anything. What the frick's going on here?
Uh. Yeah. First off, I'm gonna answer Arc about time. I'd say at least another hour. I'm probably going to do it. Maybe hour 10, depending on how. If I want to get it to like 3 hours, have an even 3 hours, but around that. hour, at least an hour. Or like Galahad, like not yet. At some point, I will probably make a post about that. So since I haven't, once I'm actually have that set up, I will take a suggestion because I might forget it. And then Ben, and yeah, like I actually don't know when the year SPD came out, but I learned that SPD takes place in the year 2025. So yeah, fun. We got caught up. On a different note, with this human Batgirl design, and I did partially get inspired by one person I've been following. Have fun, Arc. One person I've been following has been posting a lot of posting and talking a lot about a manga and anime called Undead Unluck.
That's on Disney Plus. It is. There's going to be a bit of an age rating on that because there's a fair bit of nudity, but they don't really show anything. But it's absolutely hilarious.
I've heard good things, but it sounded like did also say that it seemed like it was better to read it than watch it because it sounded like there was like just a lot of flashbacks. You know, kind of like how One Piece pads its time with flashbacks.
Yeah, if you watching the anime is great if you want to watch it and get into the story and the action without hundreds and hundreds of flashbacks. But if you want the whole picture, I believe, and I haven't read it yet, I believe the manga's got it covered with a lot of information, whereas the animes obviously try to structure it more for a generalized viewing. But it is hilarious.
I need to, and no worries, Ark. We're happy to have you for the time. Have fun with your D&D.
Yeah, don't apologize if you've got to go and get on with stuff.
Yeah.
It's we know that real life stuff comes in, people come and go in live streams, and if you're here, it's great. If you can't make it, we're not going to hunt you down or
Yeah.
or torture you and go, you will appear at our live streams. No, we're just grateful whenever people show up, that they interact, they leave a like, and they watch some of the stream, and
yeah,
come along to the next one.
Yeah, but yeah, I know that. But I've been seeing like the images for the main girl in that, and she has like the beanie. So I feel like I partially got inspired to do the beanie design because of seeing those images.
Yeah,
Granted,
she's got.
Granted,
sorry, go on.
Granted, I'm also in the Pacific Northwest, so beanies are considered part of the normal fashion. At least when
cultural heritage, yeah.
But yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, she's got the weird power in Undead Unluck. She has the power of Unluck, so if she makes skin contact with anybody, some tragedy will befall around her or or to the person who's made skin contact. So if they touch her, that say you wipe a tear off her cheek and your thumb touches her cheek, you could get hit by a bus the next minute.
Fun.
If you were to give her a kiss, you could probably have a meteor coming down from the sky to wipe out the area around you, but she'd survive. And then you've got Undead, who just can't die. So it's a story about Undead wants to die. She wants to, she wanted to die, but he wants her to stay alive because he wants her to give the biggest amount of bad luck to wipe him out because he can't be wiped out. But Undead's also got another secret to do with his past. And yeah, it's just the story just goes from this organization trying to stop the end of the world. It's got a really cool concept behind it. I just can't go into too much about doing spoilers, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Me trying to figure out how I want to pose the arms. On a different note, I kind of want to do a. I kind of want to draw some characters, but I'm gonna stop, think my words, and also go back a little bit. I was like rewatching like True Green Seven's video where the artist made gym leaders based off of a different like character trope. I kind of want to do something like that, but with like getting suggestions for like, oh, this character trope from like viewers. Be like, hey, name like at least two character tropes, and we'll make and I'll make a character out. Try to make a character based off of those tropes. That just sounds fun.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I've had an idea for a video I'm going to make, but I'm not going to reveal spoilers because I don't want anyone doing the same video yet.
Okay.
Not in a nasty way. I've just suddenly come up with an idea of video. It's like it's nothing new. It's been over YouTube before. People have done it before, and I'm thinking, but I want to have a go now. I just thought, why not? I would just want to see what happens on it. Just it'll be fun.
Touche. There's some like fusion ideas, non voice actor ones, just cool fusion ideas I really want to do that came to mind, and that I really want to do.
I've got some ideas for
probably do as like stream some point.
Yeah, fusions are good. I've got a couple ideas that came out quite nicely before, but I've got an idea for a few things that I might want to try that I haven't actually done on the channel before. It could be quite fun. It could also go horribly wrong. Because I've not done it before. So that's the fun that I have to like. You got to balance out the fun of horribly wrong and entertaining while it's horribly wrong or not.
You know what? Let's do this. I love this design already. I'm definitely going to take this for original character and something. I just got to figure it out.
Your own version of Monster Prom. That's how you can do your 100 characters. You could do the whole school.
I've had multiple monster related ideas for comics that I would love. Combination of what would love to do / should try to work on. Sometimes I should also just in general, starting with like you guys, the other artists, I should share like the comic I made during the last year of college that I got paid to do because I found out I could be a cartoonist for my school's newspaper, and I wish I learned about it way sooner.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. It was pretty fun. I don't know if I'd ever bring back those characters in like the same story because I literally called it Comes to Mind, where it was literally just whatever ideas I could come up with these characters.
On the other side, it's a pretty good starting point for a story. Comes to mind. Whatever comes to mind, you draw it.
Yeah. I'm like I've contemplated bringing it back as like a short. It was a short 4-panel comic, so try doing that as like a short comic to maybe try weekly as like practice.
Oh, I've just hit a massive roadblock on what I'm planning to do for this artwork. Based on the description, it's one of the redraw ones. Based on part of the description, I'm like, wait. That's really going to cause a
For what the you can't tell us yet or
no, it's part of the description on one of the chosen artworks, and I'm looking at it and I thought, yeah, it'll be great. I got a great thing to do with this, and now I'm looking at it and it's like the description's quite cool, but the pose I've done, I'm like, how the hell do I do this? It's more for the color scheme for it.
Hmm.
There's multiple colors involved.
Ah,
Um,
okay, the end has world of their character Miles Yugorovich. Yugorovich has elves, dwarves, demons, angels, vampires, and a debate on whether zombies and Frankenstein monster-like characters, or how they would how, bleh, if they would reproduce. Which, like, yeah, I've had similar thoughts about how that could work. I mean, magic and science could have like life finds a way sort of thing, but it all
you could also,
depends on how you'd want to do it.
you could also have certain species are compatible because they share a common bloodline. So where you've got elves, dwarves, even vampires, they could all share a half human bloodline or a humanoid type bloodline, which has a low percentage, but it is possible for them to have offspring. There's nothing to say that certain ones of those can't with others. And in a lot of fantasy animes or other fantasy stories, you often have like telflings, which are the half human, half elves and stuff, like in D&D. So it is possible to have those races based on a low probability in your world. But it's having zombies and Frankenstein monsters being able to do it is like, well, they're undead. So how would you get the undead to? You're now back to the Hugh Grant Van Helsing film with Dracula trying to have all his offspring using Frankenstein's monster to power the machine to keep them all alive.
Me just going up, down, up, down, up, down. How do I want to? What do I want to do for her lower half? Like, what if I gave her shorts? What if I did that? So she has shorts. I mean, I'll go down here because give her shorts, and then like this would be leggings, and I almost kind of want to joke and be like, "Oh no, she has like boots that come up to her thighs," as like partial. So it's referencing more how like Zubat has like the long. I don't know if those are legs or what. Whatever Zubat has.
I
So
think they're supposed to be like the bottom legs of a bat, like the claws that they use to wrap around to hang upside down.
yeah,
But they do look weird.
I I can't. I do want to do this also. I kind of want to give her. Sus- I want to give her. You could. It's on one hand, it's like we could just call it suspenders, but I'm also like jokingly just calling them like belts, kind of like the Final Fantasy stuff where like they just give them the belts as partially to also as like the shape language also of Zubat's kind of legs things.
Yeah, I can see that.
I feel like it almost looks like I gave them like a puffy jacket. Yeah,
They have got kind of like that almost baggy, puffy effect on the sleeves.
yeah.
It actually looks quite cool.
Thank you. I'm gonna add a backpack, a small backpack.
Are you going to add it on their back? Or are you going to add it by their feet, like you sometimes get in character designs, which means that it shows the backpack in more?
For this, I don't think it matters as much. much to be seen. It's going to be on the simple side, but I'm going to give it some bat wings on it.
Ooh.
Small bat wings. I also love the. Originally, I had the idea of either just having like a Z on the beanie, or having like Z dash bat. But I like the idea of drawing in between the Z and bat like a little character bat thing.
That would definitely be quite cool.
Don't know if I want. I kind of want to. I don't know if I want to give it some like pointed ears. And we can figure that out when we get to actually. She's a bit of a weird girl.
Nothing wrong with that nowadays. That's perfectly normal.
Yeah.
In fact, if it wasn't a weird girl, that'd be the problem.
I don't know, like if I did use her, I don't know if she'd be like if she should be like a major character or if she'd be like a supporting character, because I don't know, her personality in this drawing doesn't really read like a normal main character, but then again also, it shouldn't really matter her, because anyone can be a main character as long as you be good at writing them and make them interesting. Okay, I'm gonna duplicate the layer, and I'm going to actually make the sleeves. I want to make the sleeves like bigger and longer. Kind of like it's a little bit too big on her. Partially as like a way to reference the fact that Zubat technically doesn't have hands.
Yeah, it's kind of just wings, isn't it?
Yeah. So you can't really see her hands. She is an adorable girl, and I will definitely figure out something with her. On a different note, I also was like, after last week's True Green video, because of like Bonnie's doing like the fantasy Pokemon and like as humans, but they were in like a fantasy thing. I checked out his old videos where he did some Pokemon in like a fantasy one, and like really good. But it does make me want design some more fantasy just some fantasy characters. Again, I don't know if I want to do it for which world I would want to do it for though.
Yeah, I can't remember who the person he has on. He has them on. Is it Moxie? They do them in almost like an anthropomorphic humanoid animal Pokemon style, which just looks like it could be in an anime, but they look so simple but unbelievably cool looking.
I don't know when the last time Moxie's been on. Like, and
It was a while ago, but I remember going back to it, and I remember seeing they did this like lioness one or this lion one, and they made them like a instead of being like a normal lion Pokemon, they made them like a stood up and from a humanoid
yeah,
lion Pokemon, and they looked so like to coin a phrase, they were stunning. They were just literally the line art and the coloring. It was simple, but it was beautiful. It was like every time I saw one of their designs that was almost like humanoid, I was like, damn, this is like a whole talent on its own. This could, if they just did this, they'd have a channel that would be in the millions. You'd have a certain fan base too, but it would be in the millions.
yeah. I mean, hey, money is money, and like if like as long as you're not destroying your values and other stuff, no issues.
Yeah, it's very interesting seeing them when they do create Pokemons from a description. I think we should have a go at creating something from a description.
Yeah, we gotta figure. We should try like the one thing I'm like trying to think of, like we should try some of those videos, kind of like True Green, where we have to get a prompt and design something, but the main thing I think feels like our issue or problem sometimes is would we do it like how True Green does it, where everyone's art is then shown on one channel, or should we do it like kind of like when like the
The
collabs that
design
you've
challenge
done,
where, yeah,
like where like yeah, you have your art on your channel, and then like once we're all done, we then do all get a good look at it and talk about it. It's like you did with the one with Popcross and the one you did
yeah.
with Kingpin and Allen.
Yeah, and then the Pop Cross Caitlyn one and Keeping and animations, those were quite cool doing those because you had the reactions at the end of the call, but you'd obviously have to record the call
Yeah,
and then edit the bits out in between. The bits that the the bits people aren't allowed to see.
yeah,
But yeah, edit those bits out and then work on it from there, which is fair enough. It's just a case of figuring out the best way to do it as such at that point. Um, Yeah, I guess it depends. I mean, we could rotate it each time we do it on one channel, then another channel, then another channel, and the person whose channel it is hosting it. So saying the description to the other artist, saying I've got you guys along, da 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 da,
yeah,
and we could rotate through each channel because that way everybody gets a single video of all the artwork and stuff, and it's their edit. We keep the editing consistent, but it's their own style, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So
Plus, also, we can then technically we can also like do shorts,
mm,
like a short version also, and then be like, hey, if you want like the full talk about it, we go over to their channel.
yeah, I've started getting on
On
the
doing shorts.
method at the moment of recording what I do in my live streams. So I've got them as well that I can drop into real-time videos or short videos, especially since my Venomized Kefla first live stream, it was fine for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes or something, and then it just went completely and utterly bit rated. And I'm like, no idea why.
Yeah,
Nothing had changed. So I've got a full real-time video I've got to render off this weekend for it with just music and section for each bit. Like this bit's the eyes, this bit's this bit's this. That people can follow later on. There's no commentary, but my idea is to drop off a real-time video for 3 hours on the channel, and people can actually use it to see the process. They could, if you want to pause it and play it, and you have Clip Studio and copy what I've done, you can copy what I've done if you've got a large enough screen. It just, I got no problem with it because all my techniques are learnt from other artists and just implemented to merge them all together to work for me. So it's just sharing the knowledge they're already sharing.
Yeah. Like I might turn like this into a video at some point,
Mm,
and I'll just do like I've done with some of these other videos where I just technically I could probably do it with just downloading the stream, but I've been doing a lot where I've been just doing like the time lapse, like where I've edited it. Like I know for like some of the other ones I've been more zoomed out, but when I did like the first go of the fantasy races recently, I zoomed in to the different parts while I've been working on them. So I might
yeah.
do like that. Well, no, that's what I've been like, pretty much partially planning with some of these. Partially because since I've been in the whatever this mood is where I haven't been doing it and stuff as much. Since I have the time lapse and Clip Studio, I can still get stuff done, and then just edit it, and I'll be able to get it out while I'm still in this kind of funk.
Yeah, I'm trying to work smarter this year. So,
Yeah,
for example, I've recorded the Kefla live stream. I can now crop that into a tutorial how to do eyes, how to do the skin that I did on rendering, how I did the venomized texture if I want to. I can have that as a real time long video. I can use the time lapse for a short. I can do design notes or talking about my process on a sped up video if I wish to do design notes and just drop that in. I can make like milk that one to death on my channel, but with different things in each video to then get it so it's like it's not just content copy, it's just I've done it instead of one massive video of everything, and I've done multiple little bits and then one video of all the tips and tricks and bits together, for example. Or I've done the idea this way in this video on this artwork. Well, there's another way of doing it and do a couple different ways of doing eyes in a video or something
yeah,
to try and reuse it to make it so that I don't have to make artworks all the time to make content to go out on the channel. I just need to find time to make the content from what I've got recorded.
yeah. That's still true though.
Yeah, finding the time's the hard part.
Oh yeah, that also. Well, that is it. In a normal sense, it's true. In my current situation, technically, not as much, but but mine is more of just having to get through a bunch of funk and not
Mm,
be in the mood for stuff, which sucks.
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of it's almost the opposite effect now. You've got too much time to work on. You've got all the time you wanted to work on it, but now that you've got the time you wanted to work on it, you're like, ah,
Yeah, I might
and
also.
it's had the opposite effect.
Yeah, probably. It also might be some form of we called it was kind of like almost seasonal depression sort of thing at one point.
Mm, yeah, it is the start of the year where everything's kind of like, yeah.
Especially in this country.
It's the same over here. It gets to this point of the year after you get past something like the 20th or something, or something like that. January there was the Blue Monday or something in the UK or whatever you call it. It's like it's the one day of the year everyone's the most down and they will call in sick for work.
Yeah. I still need to hopefully find a job. That or somehow get a lot of attention and notice really quickly so I'm not only monetized but also making really good money right away.
What do you need now to get monetized? How far off are you?
um
Do you know?
it when I looked at it the other day, it for some reason it says 2000. I have 2000 watch hours, which is I find weird since at this point in time we've passed. I asked when I did. It's been been over a year since I did the Has Been in Mortal Kombat, which is the second most viewed video on the channel now, and it got a lot of its views when Has Been Hotel came out because I was smart when I got it out. But for some reason, the hours didn't go down like I would think it would have.
I can answer that.
Okay.
You're forgetting about your live streams. Your live streams where you've had views. A 2 hour live stream could get you 20 hours worth of watch time, which will make up for most of your videos in the rolling 365 days. How I became monetized was I was doing live streams every Monday and Friday, and I was drawing throughout them as well as knocking out videos. I was still doing a video, and I was then doing a live stream with 2 live streams a week plus a video. I don't know how I did that now compared to because nothing's really changed, and I can't do that nowadays compared to back then. But as long as your live streams are public and they are left on your channel, whatever time you get for them works. I mean, I have what was my last live stream? I did that fusion Pokemon live stream. I fused Tentacruel with Raikou, and that netted me a total of. So that was 70 views. I streamed for 3 hours, 9 minutes, 40 seconds, and I got 17 and a half hours worth of watch time for 3 hours.
I guess. But...
I mean, they're not huge. I mean, I guess it's not huge. It depends what comes through, but you're talking their multipliers by at least like a factor of 5 on average per live stream. If you've done a couple live streams and you've got I don't know, 20 hours from it, and then you're racking up some time afterwards, compared to a video which might only have over a couple of days 5-6 hours of watch time, your live streams have kind of covered you.
I guess. I don't know. It just also feels weird that it. I don't know. I still would have thought there would have been like some sort of huge decrease after being that year. I don't know. Just
Well, it's
granted,
anything from
there would probably should have also been like a huge decrease in watch hours back in like November, December because of the all the views I got for the Amazing Digital Circus as animatronics back in 2023.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just got to get that pretty much 2,000 more for actual monetized.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna try something.
Obviously, like 1,000, pretty much 1,000 to get to where I can have channel memberships, and I hope I can get some channel members.
Yeah, phone members are hard to.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're hard to get. Most of mine are from gifts from Koi Fish Gaming and Minecraft Transformers. They're very generous from time to time to gift one or a couple every now and again. I do the same back when I've got some spare cash on their channels as well. But you've probably got more of an advantage because you're more active on Patreon with people interacting with you and that. So getting people to be members is it's kind of basically Patreon but on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's what you give them, and you could link what you could say, if you're this member tier on YouTube, you will get access to these features on Patreon. And you can actually link you can link Patreon to Discord for roles. You can actually say, okay, well, if you're this member here or this member on Patreon, then you will get access to this a month, and then you just have a rolling list between the two.
Yeah, we'd have to definitely figure some stuff out and all. Granted, and when it comes to Patreon, I only have one patron, which that's almost $2 after the cut patron takes, but
well,
It's
If it
still
makes you
something.
makes you feeling better, I've got 0 Patreons and 13 members.
Well, that's something.
It's impressive. I've got no paid members on Patreon, but I have 13 members who are just there.
Uh, I'm thinking of like I got so many people that just like the watch that follow my Patreon but don't
Yeah, I think
like you're
that's what
not.
my free ones are. Memberships, they class as free members.
Well, there is nothing on Patreon that people can see for just being free.
I've got some that they can see for free, and I do drop some art drops on there. But any major updates or anything, or any, certain things here and there, like some art drops will be dropped, but anything major, any teasers for stuff or updates, they are all hidden behind the pay gateway.
Yeah,
But again, you have some enticing for them, and unfortunately, at the moment, I don't.
I
I know I don't have enough to
uh,
get them just because I don't have the time to do the stuff to get them.
I have stuff. It's just also I don't know. One thing is also I am trying to do it where like pretty much have the monthly Patreon poll become a video. Well,
Yeah, I was
where
doing
they're
members.
yeah, like, I have the thing with what things did I have? Well, I have one thing with a character one that I can still I should still turn into a video, but I might turn it into a video near the end of the month so it can be enticing for next month, along with this month's one being like one of the first videos for next one of the first videos for next at the beginning of next month, so that people maybe could be interested. Doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah, I was doing a members only in on the Discord, uh, and community posts. I was dropping out members only artwork submissions. That's how I got the Samus and Mystique kind of live stream and stuff. That I turned into a live stream uh a live stream on each kind of like month, and I haven't got around to doing it properly again yet. Did it before Christmas. I need to pick it back up. But that was something I was going to try and get Patreon. If you're a Patreon, you would get a poll, and it'd be the artwork would be a Patreon only artwork. Now that might turn into a members only video. That's never public, or you might get access to a video in advance that's feature that illustration. I draw it in advance, get it done, get it set. That's available to them a week or two before it goes live to anybody else, other members on the YouTube, and there's a link in Patreon. And then you've kind of got they've got their own special perk or access at that point to behind the scenes stuff or more advanced stuff. I mean, if I was doing this every day, I'd just record everything and just put that into multiple videos, whether it's and multiple products. So it could be an artwork that goes onto the store. It's available on the store, but to everybody. But the actual process and making and stuff, the store doesn't release it till 2 weeks after it's gone live for everyone,
Yeah,
or stuff like that. And you can make it stickers, badges, and clothing and stuff. And you just record everything and your process, and then you have your Q&As and everything else. And you just build up feedback. Doing feedback of people's artwork. You could just spend a whole stream talking about people's art and what you would improve or what you could try to improve or top tips or something, and just go through that. But it's trying to find enough to it's doing enough to add value, but not doing so much you burn yourself out and you can't do it.
yeah.
And that's the hard part, the balance. I love the little design you're doing there.
Thank you. I'm I the only thing I can probably say is let's see. I'm gonna get the mesh tool.
Yeah, I'm not very good with the mesh tool.
I'm. I don't think I was gonna.
It's the liquefy tool, isn't it? The one where you can pop it, warp it, and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use it, but I've never been really good at it.
Yeah. Pretty much that and like the free transform.
Yeah.
I might also just turn it into like one color.
In fact, that tool is better than what I've tried doing. I'm going to have to remember that.
And also, like, what do I want the text? Do I want to just do the text? Excellent. I did like a small practice sketch of the head. What did I draw? How did I draw the? I didn't really do much for drawing the letters. Yeah, let's.
You just wrote zoo, and then you had that for like the B in bat, didn't you?
Well, like the font. What font did I want to try? How do I want to like almost stylize it? Do I want it to be very normal? Do I want to look for? At some point, I gotta get like find like the files that we had, like that has like all the fonts in like Microsoft Word.
Yeah, I know what you
Gotta
mean.
find those files on. It's probably on our computer because I had it on my laptop before it pretty much died. So like some of my older.
What are you using? Are you using a Mac or Windows?
I am technically a Windows, but I don't have. I didn't have Word, so I somehow it was able. Clip Studio on my laptop was able to recognize the fonts that I had in like in the Microsoft systems. Also, sorry,
Yeah,
Ben. Got
that's. Oh, sorry, go on.
we got just a little distracted on our talking. Like a character being half succubus. That's yeah, I mean that's like a. I mean that is makes a sort of thing that would make sense with like since succubus is very lustful stuff. Having them be half human is not hard.
Yeah, the other side of things on that is you could have so much fun making it so that they sometimes they just have uncontrollable outburst of their urges in awkward situations to make them funny.
Yep.
You could also have ones that are traumatic and terrifying and they shouldn't be doing it just to get on the side of other stuff, but it could be quite interesting.
Yep. I'm gonna do a free transform, make it a bit taller.
Are they not technically the same thing? Half succubus, half vampire. Isn't the succubus supposed to be kind of like a demon similar to a vampire, or at least related to a vampire in a sense, just not quite undead?
In a way, I think it also depends on the media. I feel like
Mm,
I feel like there's some that have had them be kind of related.
yeah. I suppose it classes demons and monsters. It could probably be a subclass or a alternate class depending on the, like you say, depending on the media or the medium or the backstory for vampires and succubus.
Yeah.
Vampire could be the overriding controlling ones. Succubus are the ones that are servants stealing the life force to feed it to the vampires.
like that. That looks good. I think I am at least going to. Since we're getting close to being about 4 o'clock in my time zone, pretty much the almost 3 hour mark, I think I'm just going to at least test out, figure out the skin tone, get that pretty much based. And doing a quick check. Yep. So I have to do that for.
Apparently, Valentine's Day, YouTube turns 20. Just a random fact there.
And
Potentially, I think.
And then also, Ben was talking about a half werewolf, half succubus, which.
She'll have a mean bite.
I've, which that's like thinking of like usually one as making them very demon so you can partially tell, so and thinking them having horns. It is kind of hard to do horns on a very canine looking head skull, but yeah, could be very interesting.
Doable.
I kind of want to figure out how I want to do the eye thing. I think that looks good for the eyes and shadow. Or do I want to try? Like, kind of going down, kind of going up. Maybe be in people where you can actually see it, not zooming out.
I have to say, Ben, you've put also imagine drawing the different parts of a character's personality, like the different parts of Dreamweaver or Erenfold Bainsworth, and I don't mean in inside out way. There's a couple of moments in Teen Titans Go that shows the 5 different parts of each Titan. That is true, but I still wouldn't know how to do that for Erenfold.
Yeah, I do. Like, I also understand, cause I technically haven't seen that episode, but one of those episodes with it, it's like I still don't really care for Teen Titans Go. Sometimes they have something that's funny, but I do know like a version of that where with Raven's different emotions, which they kind of showed that also in an episode of Teen Titans. So yeah, but at the same time, you choosing Dreamweaver, who is kind of even more monotone and all that, even more so than Raven, is like, yeah, like obviously, yeah. think I know how I want to try it. I think I want to try giving her some more bangs. Yeah, I kind of like that, blocking out the eyes more than trying to do the shadow.
Yeah, it's a balancing act. If you had left it and then maybe built it up with the shadows with the skin tones at the same time, it kind of works because I've done it before that way.
Like,
But I really like what you've done there.
thank you. Like, maybe I can. Like, mix it with that. But yeah, probably do more like. Maybe more of like skin tones. Or even a little bit up a little more. Actually. But if, like. I kind of want to. At this point, I kind of want to just. A little, maybe figure out a little bit before then going off. Yeah, yeah, I think that'll work. I might start at least some of these kind of basic. I mean, I guess that's about it where I was usually been doing it. Since outside of just some I might, you know what, we can build it up quickly, a little bit enough. For some of these. Maybe right
Got to say,
here.
lineup's my favorite but worst part to do because you can bring the characters to life and you can tweak the look or the feel or the details as you do the line art. And then once it's done, it's like it's stuck with it just before the rendering. So it's really cool in that regard. You can actually improve upon your existing lines and you can make it look cooler. The only drawback is sometimes is once you've done the line art, it doesn't look right.
Oh
And
yeah.
not in a disrespectful way. You ever get it where you do it and you look at it and you think,
Yes.
it doesn't look right to me until you render it and then you're like, oh, it works. But when you look at it without the colors or the flats, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes even with it, like, no.
Yeah, this is why I had for a while trust the process as my banner. That wasn't for everybody else on YouTube. It's to remind me every time I loaded up my community page to trust the process when I'm working on my art.
Yep.
Because sometimes it just looked like, what if this was this, or you're doing this, and you look at it thinking, what the hell have I got here? No, 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 no. No, I'm not.
No to what? No,
Oh, then maybe try what Popcross did in his art to look somewhat similar to Marvel Rivals or Arcane. No,
I would
because
love to, but also that's a lot.
and that takes away from the whole point of finding your own style and yourself by pulling in these other styles, even though you could do it as case study. We're trying not to copy everybody.
Yeah,
This is why people, even though we're doing original stories, we're trying to branch off into interests that we like while doing everything. It kind of defeats the idea if you're going to branch off and then do what someone else has done.
like I would love. I do want to figure out more of like doing like the these pretty much moments of like black shape shadows that technically Kingpin has been doing them a bit. It's
Yeah,
like
I've got
inspired by like
some.
kind of inspired by like the starfish face, and honestly, if you also look at Ghost Trick, which maybe she got inspired by that game.
Yeah, it's kind of like the classic solid black film from comics, isn't it?
That is also true.
I have been inspired by that in some aspects, and same with anime art. The only difference is I softened them by doing a layer level correction, and I shift it along a bit to the right on the bottom banner, the bottom slider, the main one, and then at the top bit I shift it along, and it just softens them, and then that softens the line art version of it. And obviously, I tend to try and make them multiply. I tend to add as many as I can do in the actual rendering, and it's only the core darkest blacks and stuff that will be in the layer that's part of the inking, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to explain it. It's kind of like all the inks are the darkest layers, the darkest elements, that all the pitch black for the line art and the shadows, and then I'll soften that up by using the level correction instead of using the soft eraser like I would on a colored rendered section to break up the shadow a bit. I'll be back in just a moment.
Okay. Did I accidentally rasterize the layer? Oh no, wait. I don't remember what layer I'm on. Yeah, I've had ideas of like putting characters, not just original, but also non-original. You know, like the usual story ideas of putting them in has been. I might still do them at some point, but yeah, like again, just trying a little bit of just doing more original stuff, not involving other media a little bit, if if at all when possible. Oh, dang it. If they were in hell, yeah. Probably kind of spider like. Also, like the fact that it sounds like I can't tell if you're saying that. Also, it seems like you're putting most of my narrators in hell, which, while we do feel like, while everyone is theorizing and thinking that it seems like people are, that most people go to hell in has been, and there's like some sort of whatever it was. The fact that you're also saying most of my characters, which like, I mean, some maybe would go to hell. Welcome back. I
Yes,
assume.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I can tell by the weird noise when my mic gets turned back on, yeah.
Yep. Especially since I can't, wouldn't be able to hear any of the Discord notifications because streaming. I like these, dark shapes.
Oh yeah, they're
I
looking really cool now.
100% can say one thing though. It's more, I'm mainly just putting them wherever I think they would work. They would look
Yeah,
cool.
you're doing the the not realistic shadows, more the these are where it actually looks cool shadows.
Yeah. Where, like, yeah, maybe it would make sense a little bit, but it's also just to look cool.
Yeah, which is quite nice because it's got that that's what they do in a lot of the comics and a lot of the I've done it in plenty of things before, even the ones where I'm doing the shadows and like the some of the ones that I did on the first part of the community redraw, they were where most of the shadows were where I thought they'd look cool, even though the light's coming down. Sometimes I have a bit of a shadow in the wrong spot and people don't notice it. And it's like, that looks really cool. I go, yeah, yeah, because I deliberately put something in the wrong place. It
Well,
just helps sometimes.
art is partially just making stuff look cool to you.
Yeah, it's subjective. Those that like it will like it. Those that hate it will always hate it. And those that are in between, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to try and persuade you. It's your choice at the end of the day. That's the way to look at it with art. Completely subjective.
Yep. And gonna be in a FNAF stuff. Oh yeah, them stuck in a FNAF. That'd be kind of funny. That could be funny. Putting them into a FNAF story. 100%
That would be
technically doable.
interesting. Yeah, Ark was asking me or someone was asking me on my live stream, wasn't it, how I would survive being a security guard. I think it was Ark in the pizzeria. How would I guarantee to survive to the end of the night?
Nah, I'd die.
And No, I said it'll be a seal-proof panic room, recyclable air, no vents for it in, generators in there, and a food supply in there to last me until the fifth night.
I'd probably just die. But yeah, since oh wow, we're actually almost at the exact 3 min mark because I was mainly just still messing around and then also waiting for you to get back before I decided to end the stream. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the stream since we're at the 3 hour mark. I'd be
It's also
yep.
looking like it's a good spot to end as well. You've got quite a nice, even though you've done that like flat color, you've got quite a nice set of shadows on there.
Yeah. At some point, I don't know if I'll finish this on another stream or if I'll finish this on off stream. There is a piece that I've been meaning to do with Satan from the Hell of a Boss version of Satan that I've been meaning to do, and I want to do it on stream. I might do that, and I also might on days that no one else is streaming, can do some extra streams because anything to help boost views and stuff and notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank everyone in the chat for joining us. Those who have left, come back, and all. Well, I hope you enjoyed the day, and hope we'll see you guys next time. And thank you for popping in, DMZ.
No worries.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Later.